be amazed at how much pain a man can take when he can't feel it.
So we are talking about the movie The Midnight Man, a 2016 crime drama, comedy action film, I guess you would say, but I like to call this movie Deadpool Light. So I'll explain a little bit about that in just a second. So this one is directed by a guy called D.C. Hamilton, he also co-wrote with star Bryna Kelly. Now this movie stars Will Kemp as a kind of hitman, basically, who has a special gift. Now, if you've seen Deadpool or you're aware of the character, you know, he's known as the Merc with a Mouth. He's a bit of an anti-hero, but he's kind of constantly kind of giving people crap. Not just like this guy. This guy is a rather than a mercenary, he's actually an assassin, but he's a bit sassy. He likes to kind of have a bit of back and forth with his victims, basically, and very much like Deadpool. And like Deadpool, he has a kind of a special ability. So with the Deadpool film and comics and things like that, Deadpool basically has a healing factor, a little like Wolverine. Grady, played by Will Kemp, actually can't feel any kind of pain. So he's basically the perfect hitman because he can't be kind of tortured because he will never break because he just literally doesn't feel any pain. So you see the comparisons here. Now the actual plot here focuses on Grady's character basically having to kind of go through a gauntlet of different kind of challenges, different kind of gangsters, as he's basically worried that the FBI are closing and he's been given a list by his boss and these guys got to take out. He basically ends up kind of sort of kidnapping this kind of EMT, played by Bryna Kelly, and basically sort of coerces her into helping him. And there's kind of a little bit of a twist and turns about what's going on. We meet various kind of colourful characters played by a variety of different kind of recognisable faces. Brent Spinner, Doug Jones, Vinnie Jones, all have kind of small roles here, and they kind of play these very sort of colourful underground characters, and there's some great kind of sparring sessions with there. We'll start off with the negatives first of all. I would say a couple of little things to me first of all. Bryna Kelly, who sort of co-wrote this and produced this, this film was actually a short called The Midnight Monster before this, and this is now spun off into this kind of feature. I have to be honest with you, I thought her acting was a little weak. She's obviously kind of cast herself in this role, but to me her acting, this is her first feature, I didn't feel was particularly strong, I have to be honest with you. She's kind of a likeable character, but her kind of line delivery was not the best, if I'm completely honest. And there was a few other kind of just in smaller roles actors as well, who I just felt were kind of just a little bit too much on the kind of the cheesy side here. And I have to say as well, this kind of maybe veers into sort of a little bit too cartoony territory for some people. The action as well, I've seen some criticism of the action, saying it's not particularly well shot. I don't think it's that bad, if I'm honest. I wouldn't dock too much away from that. The action is fairly sparse, to be fair. It's more about the kind of the relationships and the kind of the back and forth between characters. I didn't have much of a problem with the action as some people, but there is that, I guess. I guess the only other kind of the minor quibble for me, that I think the pacing is a little off sometimes. It sort of slows down in certain areas of the film to a little bit of a, not a grinding halt, but just kind of where you're willing to pick up again. But on the positives of this side, I thought Will Kemp here, who plays the kind of the main character, Grady, who's known as the Midnight Man or the Midnight Monster, depending on the film, basically. I thought he was fantastic in this film, very kind of likeable. Like I say, a Deadpool light character. He's not only costume, anything like that, basically. And I really like the sections where he is dealing with the kind of the, I guess you would get the boss level kind of bad guys. I thought they were all great. I thought there was some nice little kind of interplay, all very different, and you would kind of felt like you were going through these levels. It feels like a video game, this movie. Each kind of boss character has a kind of certain challenges, basically, that Grady must overcome. So it feels like you're kind of watching basically a live action video game, so it's kind of fun. I also thought this film was quite funny. It had some great dialogue in it. and for the most part it's well delivered by the majority of the cast, other than what I've obviously said to you there. So some of the kind of the things I would say maybe are a little, you know, veer too much and a little bit on kind of parody and a little bit maybe too much kind of spoofy, but overall I felt it generally fit the kind of the tone of the film here. I thought this was a fun kind of movie. I don't know if I'd say it's maybe a classic, but it's definitely worth checking out if you like kind of Deadpool film and you sort of, you know, you like a bit more of a kind of a B-movie action film. I would definitely check this out. I would give this movie a 7 out of 10. It's definitely worth checking out. I do think it has a kind of a little kind of like niggles here and there. There's nothing really that's going to kind of upset you from the whole film, so definitely go check it out. So overall, like I said, I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. Worth watching. Let me know if you've seen it. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.